Taylor Swift has once again turned the music world on its head. Just when fans thought the Eras tour was a pinnacle of her creative journey, she's back, bolder, brighter, and more theatrical than ever. Her 12th studio album has been announced, and it's called The Life of a Showgirl. The title alone evokes sequins, spotlights, and a story waiting to be told. But this isn't just another album drop. It's a full-blown reinvention. The clues started subtly. A glittery orange and mint green countdown clock appeared on her website, ticking down to a mysterious moment. Swifties, ever detectives, immediately began decoding. 12 orange-themed photos were posted by Taylor Nation, each one dripping with symbolism. Fans noticed the color scheme, the styling, the repetition of the number 12. It was clear something monumental was coming. Then came the podcast teaser. The Kelsey brothers, Travis and Jason, announced a special guest on their show New Heights. The silhouette in the promo? Unmistakably Taylor. The fandom went into overdrive. Theories flew across TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter. Was she announcing a new album? A film? A surprise tour extension? The speculation was electric. And then, at exactly 12:12 a.m. on August 12th, Taylor appeared on New Heights. She was poised, radiant, and holding a mint green briefcase. With a smile, she opened to reveal a blurred-out record. "This is my brand new album," she said. "The Life of a Showgirl." The internet exploded. Within minutes, vinyls, cassettes, and CDs were available for pre-order. The release date? Still a mystery. But the era had officially begun. So what does The Life of a Showgirl mean? The title suggests performance glamour and perhaps a touch of satire. A showgirl is someone who dazzles on stage, but also hides layers beneath the glitter. Could this be Taylor's most theatrical, most self-aware era yet? The orange and mint green palette feels fresh and bold, like a vintage Vegas marquee reimagined for the modern age. Taylor has always used her eras to tell stories. Fearless was youthful optimism. Reputation was defiance. Folklore was introspection. But this feels like a celebration of the spotlight itself. A reclamation of fame, femininity, and spectacle. She's not just performing, she's directing the show. Fans are already deep in Easter egg territory. Sabrina Carpenter's website hinted at August 12th, sparking rumors of a collaboration. The announcement post had exactly 12 IS, another nod to TS12. Even the briefcase itself, mint green and glittery, felt like a callback to the Midnight's aesthetic, but with a twist. Taylor's world is never random. Every detail is deliberate. And let's talk legacy. Taylor now owns her masters. She's re-recorded her past, reclaimed her narrative, and continues to break records with every release. The Life of a Showgirl isn't just an album. It's a statement. It says, "I've played every role. Now I'm writing the script." From country ingenue to global icon, she's evolved in front of our eyes. And this era feels like a culmination of everything she's learned, everything she's endured, and everything she's ready to celebrate. There's also a sense of playfulness here. The showgirl archetype is often misunderstood, seen as surface-level glamour. But Taylor's always been about depth. Beneath the rhinestones, there's reflection. Beneath the choreography, there's confession. This era might be her most layered yet. As fans await the track list, the cover art, and the official release date, the excitement is palpable. Swifties are theorizing, organizing listening parties, and dissecting every pixel of her posts. Because in Taylor's universe, the music is only part of the experience. The rollout, the visuals, the community, it's all part of the magic. And so, as the curtain rises on the Life of a Showgirl, we're reminded of what makes Taylor Swift so singular. She's not just an artist. She's a storyteller, a strategist, and a showstopper. This new chapter promises glitter, grit, and grandeur. And whether you're a day one fan or a recent convert, one thing for sure, the show is just beginning. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13th, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania. From the very beginning, her life was steeped in storytelling. Her parents, Andrea Gardner Swift and Scott Kingsley Swift, were supportive and grounded. Her mother had been a marketing executive before becoming a full-time homemaker, and her father worked as a stockbroker. Taylor grew up in Wyomissing, a quiet town nestled in the heart of Pennsylvania. where she spent her early years surrounded by horses, music, and dreams that stretched far beyond the borders of her hometown. Her childhood was filled with creativity. She attended Alvernia Montessori School, where she was encouraged to explore her imagination. Later, she moved on to the Wyncroft School and then Whale Missing Area Junior/Senior High School. Even as a student, Taylor stood out, not just for her academic performance, but for her passion. She was drawn to musical theater, poetry, and country music. Inspired by artists like Shania Twain and Faith Hill, she began writing songs and performing locally. Her weekends were often spent at karaoke contests, fairs, and talent shows, where she'd sing with a confidence that belied her age. Taylor's family played a crucial role in nurturing her ambitions. Her younger brother, Austin, was her first audience and biggest supporter. Her parents recognized her talent early and made sacrifices to help her pursue it. When she was just 11, Taylor traveled to Nashville with demo tapes in hand, hoping to land a record deal. She knocked on doors, handed out CDs, and faced rejection with resilience. Most kids her age were worried about homework. Taylor was chasing a dream. Eventually, her persistence paid off. At 14, her family relocated to Tennessee so she could be closer to the heart of country music. She enrolled in Hendersonville High School, but continued her education through homeschooling as her career began to take off. She graduated a year early, a testament to her discipline and drive. While she never attended college in the traditional sense, her education came through experience, writing, performing, and navigating the complexities of the music industry as a teenager. Her upbringing was a blend of normalcy and ambition. She rode horses, baked cookies, and watched movies with her family. But she also spent hours writing lyrics, practicing guitar, and dreaming of stages far bigger than the ones in her hometown. Her parents shielded her from the harshness of the industry while encouraging her to stay true to herself. That balance of protection and freedom shaped the artist she would become. Taylor's early life wasn't marked by scandal or chaos. It was marked by intention. She knew what she wanted, and she worked tirelessly to get it. Her family didn't push her, they walked beside her. Her mother often traveled with her, helping her navigate interviews, performances, and the whirlwind of fame that began to build. Her father, though quieter in the public eye, was a steady presence. And Austin, her brother, would later pursue acting, but always remain close to his sister. Even as fame began to knock, Taylor stayed grounded. She wrote songs about her experiences, school crushes, friendships, heartbreaks, and those songs resonated because they were real. She wasn't trying to be someone else. She was simply telling her story. Her childhood home in Whale Missing became a symbol for fans, a place where it all began. The Christmas Tree Farm, where she spent her early years, was immortalized in her music. She never forgot where she came from, and that authenticity became her signature. As she transitioned from adolescence to adulthood, Taylor's foundation remained strong. Her family was her anchor. Her education, though unconventional, was rich with lessons. And her early years, filled with melodies, notebooks, and dreams, laid the groundwork for a career that would redefine pop music. Before the stadium tours, the Grammys, and the global fame, there was a girl in Pennsylvania with a guitar and a vision. And thanks to the love of her family, the support of her community, and her own unwavering determination, Taylor Swift turned that vision into reality. Taylor Swift's journey from a teenage country singer in Nashville to one of the most influential artists in the world is nothing short of legendary. Before the life of a showgirl, she had already lived a dozen lives in music. Each era a reinvention, each album a chapter in a story that millions have followed, sung along to, and found themselves in. It all began with a guitar and a dream. At just 14, Taylor signed with Big Machine Records and released her self-titled debut album. With songs like Tim McGraw and Teardrops on My Guitar, she captured the hearts of country fans and teenage girls alike. Her lyrics were diary entries, raw, honest, and deeply personal. She wasn't just singing about heartbreak. She was narrating the teenage experience in real time. Then came Fearless, and with it, Superstardom, Love Story, and You Belong With Me weren't just hits. They were cultural moments. Taylor became the voice of a generation, blending country roots with pop sensibilities. She won Album of the Year at the Grammys, becoming the youngest artist ever do so at the time. But even then, she was already looking ahead. With Speak Now, she took full creative control, writing every song herself. It was a bold move, and it paid off. Tracks like Back to December and Enchanted showcase her growth, both lyrically and musically. She was no longer just a girl with a guitar. She was a storyteller, a composer, and a visionary. Then came the shift. Red marked her first real flirtation with pop. I Knew You Were Trouble, and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together were sonic departures, but they worked. The album was a kaleidoscope of emotion, love, loss, longing, and it resonated deeply. Critics praised her maturity, and fans embraced evolution. But it was 1989 that changed everything. Taylor shed her country skin entirely and emerged as a full-blown pop star. With Max Martin and Shellback by her side, she crafted an album that was sleek, stylish, and unapologetically pop. Blank Space, Style, and Shake It Off dominated the charts. The visuals were cinematic, the rollout was masterful, and the world watched as Taylor redefined herself once again. Then came the backlash. Fame, scrutiny, and controversy collided, and Taylor responded with Reputation. It was dark, edgy, and defiant. She embraced the villain narrative, turned snakes into symbols, and delivered hits like Look What You Made Me Do and Delicate. It was a cathartic release, a reclamation of power, and a reminder that she could thrive even in chaos. With Lover, she softened. The album was pastel-colored and full of hope. You Need to Calm Down and Cruel Summer brought joy and activism to the forefront. It was a celebration of love in all its forms and a return to vulnerability. But beneath the sweetness, there was strength. Taylor was now an advocate, a businesswoman, and a force for change. Then came the pandemic, and with it, a surprise. Folklore and Evermore were quiet, introspective, and poetic. Collaborating with Aaron Dessner and Jack Antonoff, Taylor explored indie folk and alternative sounds. The storytelling was rich, the characters complex, and the mood haunting. These albums weren't just detours, they were revelations. In 2022, she returned to pop with Midnights. It was sleek, confessional, and nocturnal. Songs like Anti-Hero and Bejeweled explored self-doubt, fame, and fantasy. The visuals were glittering, the lyrics self-aware, and the album became one of her most commercially successful yet. But even then, she was laying the groundwork for what came next. Then came the Tortured Poets Department. Released in 2024, it was a literary, emotional deep dive, with references to Sylvia Plath, heartbreak, and existential musings. It felt like a journal turned into an opera, Fans dissected every line, every metaphor, every hidden meaning. It was Taylor at her most introspective, and perhaps her most vulnerable. And now, we arrive at the life of Showgirl. But before this glittering new chapter, Taylor had already built an empire. She had won 14 Grammys, sold out stadiums across the globe, and re-recorded her early albums to reclaim ownership. She had turned heartbreak into art, criticism into fuel, and fandom into a movement. Her career before the life of a showgirl was a masterclass in evolution. From country ballads to synth-pop anthems, from fairy tales to folklore, she has never stayed in one place for long. Each album was a mirror, reflecting not just her own growth, but the changing world around her. She's been the girl next door, the femme fatale, the hopeless romantic, the indie poet, and now, the showgirl. But through it all, one thing has remained constant: her ability to connect, to write songs that feel like they were written just for you, to turn personal stories into universal truths. As we look back on her career before this latest era, it's clear that Taylor Swift isn't just a musician. She's a cultural architect, a narrative weaver, and performer who understands the power of reinvention. The Life of a Showgirl may be her 12th album, but it's also a celebration of everything that came before. Because before the feathers and the spotlight, there was a girl with a guitar, and she never stopped telling her story.